What's up, Melon Mafia? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ross Crash Dane. Today we're going to be talking about qualifying last night, as well as the duels that just happened leading into the 2025 Daytona 500, and some of the controversy that came from that. First off, starting about qualifying last night, two most important of note, the two cars to lock in on speed were Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. Those are the two open cars. That meant drivers like Castroneves, Allgaier, and the JRM entry, they had to race their way in tonight. Some guys like Justin Haley, Chandler Smith, BJ McLeod, all were needing to race their way in tonight. And Chase Briscoe scored the pole. Austin Cindric qualified second. They will be the front row for the Daytona 500. Moving on then to tonight, for the duels. First duel was pretty crazy, especially at the beginning. Lap 4, I think it was, Zane Smith cut down a tire. He took down the wall. That ended his night. I don't know whether he's going to be going to a backup car or not, but regardless, with the DNF, he's going to be starting at the back of the grid on Sunday. Moving on then, I want to say lap 13 or 14 it was then, there was a multi-car crash. It looked like Chandler Smith came down on Justin Haley. It's those two drivers, not really much of a surprise that either of them were up causing a crash. They both seem to be good at that. Especially now that Haley's in the 7 car, I swear that thing is cursed. It doesn't matter whether it's Justin, it doesn't matter whether it's Corey. If it's the 7 car, you better watch out. They're probably going to wreck sometime soon. Involved in that, like I said, Chandler Smith, heavy damage to his car. He was one of the open cars. He will not make the 500. Helio Castroneves also involved in this, also heavy damage. Ordinarily, he would not make the 500, but because of the OEP rule, he will be allowed to race, although he won't be eligible for any prize money or owner's points. But with that rule that NASCAR has made, and with Elio being Elio, he will be in the 500 still, regardless. Although it is unsure at this moment whether or not he's going to be in that car or a backup car. Moving on then from there, Duel 1 was relatively clean. The rest of the race, there was a yellow for debris at one point. Ty Gibbs, who was involved in that crash as well, his passenger window had popped out. That was line on track. Debris caution was thrown for that. Another interesting thing of note for this race is there were multiple drivers who had problems pre-race. Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott, and Chastain. Chastain even was half a lap behind when they came to the green. Only Zane's crash 4 laps in really saved him from going a lap down. He was nowhere near the draft. So that saved him. He would come back later on. Didn't end up hurting him that much in the end. That being said, Bubba Wallace ended up winning this duel. Coming down on the last couple laps, it was between him and Ty Dillon. At the end, Reddick was with Bubba. Reddick got shuffled out though. William Byron finished second, Ty Dillon third. Cindric was coming late with Allgaier in tow. Ty tried to block them. That put Ty in the wall. That almost wadded people up again. They all kept it straight. Said Ty was able to finish third. Chastain and Reddick got finished out the duel in the top 5. Allmendinger, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Justin Allgaier, and Kyle Busch rounded out the top 10. This means that Justin Allgaier and the Junior Motorsports entry, they will be in the 500 this year. Like I said, Chandler Smith was out from the crash, so he did not make it. Justin Haley or JJ Yaley, he was the other open car in this race. He was the one who missed out. Bummer for them. They were close last year. Ultimately, Johnson knocked him out. This year, Junior and his team knocked him out. So if you're Haley, you have to hang your head on that, knowing that it's taken some big names to knock you out. But again, it is disappointing for them and the NY team nonetheless. Same. Moving on to Duel 2 then. It was I guess you could call it the tame one for the most part. Johnson lost the draft. For a while he was a lap down there. He sounded like he ran out of fuel a bit earlier. He and Eric Jones, they pushed up to the front early on in the race to try to get track position. And I don't know what it was. Johnson had to pit by himself. He had, right after everybody else had pitted, he had just cycled back to the lead lap. There was a bit of a crash. Typical Fords started trying to slow the pack down, try to stay at the front. That stacked everyone up. Suarez, Bowman, and Keselowski were involved. I said, don't think any of those three finished. Would assume all three of them are going to be going to backup cars as well. I don't know what the extent of the damage on those three cars is. The other thing of note is during this pit cycle, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and John Hunter Nemechek, they all had pit road penalties. Yes, I think them having to pit, that might have saved them from that crash. In all honesty, they had pitted, in the lap or two before. They were not near the pack, and when that happened, they were not involved as such. Moving on to the end of the race, though, it looked like it was going to come down to a couple of the Penske cars. Eric Jones got a big run, though, on the last lap, and then NASCAR decided to NASCAR. Big surprise there. They're 500 feet from the caution line. Jones has a run. A couple cars crash. They throw the win. They give it to Cindric. Jones probably should have won. They claim it's because it was a big enough crash that they need the drivers to slow down. They're 500 feet from the start finish line. They're not going to slow down. Yeah, so that's annoying. Jones should have won that. I think Jones deserved it. Instead we have a Cindric duel win. So yeah, I'm a Bowman fan. I felt this with him in the 500 last year. I remember Brennan Poole. He had a win taken away from this in a similar fashion at Talladega in the Xfinity Series back in 2016. This seems to be one of those things that NASCAR is really good at, is throwing the caution right as someone is about to pass someone else, and essentially giving one driver the win over the other. I really hope to hell we don't see this in the 500. Not much really to say other than that. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. NASCAR seems to be really good at this. But that's the sport we live in. So I guess the other thing I should note is in this race, Johnson was the one locked in on speed going in. He will be taking that on-speed starting spot. Corey LaJoie raced his way in. He was a top finishing open car in this race. I don't know. It's LaJoie. If you're watching my channel, odds are you've seen some of the comments he said about trucks and Xfinity Series drivers. And if you like LaJoie, good for you. Happy for you, I guess. If you don't like LaJoie, I'm not a big LaJoie fan. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's just the hand we've been dealt, I guess. So it just seems how Duel 2 went. Just left a sour taste in my mouth. I mean, it was good up until the last couple laps, and then just NASCAR. So, truck races tomorrow night. I think ARCA is going to have an abbreviated practice session tomorrow as well. Their practice and qualifying got rained out. Their race is still scheduled to be Saturday. Same thing with Xfinity. Then obviously 500 on Sunday. I've heard varying weather reports. Some say it's getting better. Some say it's still 50-60% chance of rain. let's be real, it's NASCAR, it's Florida. I'd expect rain. If you're going to be down there, bring a poncho. If you're going to be watching from home, try to get Monday off from work, on off from school, whatever you can. That's how it likes to go. So there's not much else I can tell you there. Yeah, that's about it. Just overall sour taste in my mouth. Congrats to Bubba. He did good. He earned that. Wish Ty had won that. I like Ty Dillon. Would have been fun to see Ty Dillon win the first duel, but yeah, like I said, and at the end, like I don't really like Cindric, but I can't even be mad at Cindric because again, it's NASCAR's fault. They're 500 feet from the line. Nobody's going to slow down in that time unless you're back there, you're already out of the draft, just waiting for them to crash, hoping to avoid it. If you're up in the draft, if you're up where the crash happens, you're not going to slow down in time. By the time the safety guys get out there, everybody has driven away. They're already going to be down in 1 and 2. Window nets down. Slowing down over there, race is over. So I just don't get why they would. Yeah, it's just NASCAR. They never cease to amaze me, but not for the right reasons. I don't know what else to say. It's disappointing. It's like I remember 2007 500. That iconic finish with Harvick and Martin. Whoever side you're on, Harvick or Martin. In modern day times, that wouldn't happen because as soon as Busch gets sideways, they throw the yellow. I guess that's good because then Martin would have won, but then Harvick wouldn't have, and we still wouldn't have gotten that photo finish. So it's disappointing. I don't know what to say. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Hope to catch y'all after the 500. Minimally, I'll probably be putting a video up on Tuesday. Hopefully I'm able to Sunday night. It really depends on how things go with the race, with the weather, just life in general, I guess. But I'll catch you then.